emails and voicemails following this presentation because I'll be bugging you. Thank you for attending, really, it means a lot. I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Jenny Morgan. She is a leading activist and researcher with the Buckeye Environmental Network who is looking into some of the incident reports on all kinds of matters. But today she's going to be focusing specifically on injection wells. Jenny, please come on up. Round of applause.
Thank you. First we have a video. Yes, overwhelming, huh? Thanks, Kat. Like many of you, I got involved with this issue in 2011 when we came together to save our parks from fracking. HB 133 was on the table at that point. We also organized then to get oil and gas blind waste off our roads. Our contribution, one contribution rather, I made back then were the studies I found from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, from universities, think tanks, and the American Petroleum Institute itself, all talking about the high levels of radioactivity in oil and gas waste. It was an aha moment to discover that it had been a well-known fact for a very long time, within and outside the industry, that oil and gas waste is radioactive. I brought these to Teresa Mills, the wonderful Teresa, Professor O'Reilly from Cincinnati. I think she shared them with Justin Noble. I'm sure many of you here would agree it's been a long, interesting ride, and that we activists have done a lot of which to be proud. We got ODNR to finally test the stuff. Yeah, radioactive, just like we said. We stopped 3 times Ohio bills that sought to commodify aqua salina, a gas and oil deicer. We pressured ODOT to stop using this radioactive product. We inspired Representative Lightbody to draft HB 579 recently to ban this from the roads. Guess what? She couldn't get a co-sponsor to ban radioactive gas and oil waste from our roads. And you'll hear many others today that talk about incredible accomplishments along the way. What has our goal been over the years? And what is our goal still? Simple, to protect Ohioans from radioactive oil and gas waste. It would seem like an easy sell, but the fossil fuel industry has a PR army, and together they are a Goliath. They can make yellow seem blue, up seem down, and radioactive waste seem like, not a big deal. They have an answer for every single point, that you better believe they sit in a war room, crafting and fine-tuning. But here's the thing, every Goliath has vulnerabilities. Case in point, I'm a preschool teacher. A father came in the other day and picked up his 3-year-old child. She was excited and kicking, and guess where she kicked him? And he doubled over breath. When I witnessed it, swear to God, I thought of the oil and gas industry. It was an aha moment for me. Radioactive waste is the industry's growing area. And we are the kicking children. Sure, the industry has other vulnerabilities, no doubt, water destruction, methane, and more, but radioactive waste, that gets people's attention. People are terrified of it, as they should be, and this makes it a stand-out vulnerability, and the industry knows it. Because they know if every citizen knew that frack pad up on the hill is creating radioactive waste, and that there's an accident every day and a half, many times spilling this waste into our waterways, our farms, into drinking water reservoirs and more. Yes, the industry knows people would say, oh, hell no. The industry knows if people became aware of the fact that this waste is being transported on our roads, processed in obscure-looking warehouses, and deposited into landfills and into our underground via Class 2 wells, and yet still being put on our roads, that people would say, oh, hell no. They would be demanding safer energy right now. That's what people would be doing if they knew what we know. The industry has to have a big PR army because they know fossil fuels are a nightmare that if people truly understood would never stand for. And so we keep kicking, exploiting, educating, and exposing industry lies. It was just about a year ago when I heard Rob Brundren, president of the Ohio Oil and Gas Association, say something on the radio that got me all fired up. He said, quote, horizontal drilling is safe and environmentally friendly, and the industry hasn't had any real instances environmentally. That's when I said, oh, hell no. And the next day, I made a record request with ODNR that would set me on a whole new track of oil and gas research. I asked the agency for incident reports related to oil and gas, and they would send me spreadsheets showing not none, not one, not 10, but an average of 250 incidents a year dating back to 2016. When ODNR officially started keeping track of these incidents. And this is just what is reported, folks. You can only imagine. Slide, please. After I got this information, I reached out to Frack Tracker, and they brilliantly mapped these incidents, which is an interactive map that you can click on and read about these incidents. They mapped them, and I decided to do deeper dives into each one. That's what I created, what I call the Daily Accident Report, which is on not my favorite platform, Facebook, until I get a website. And you can just look up Daily Accident Report and read about these incidents in depth. For 8 months now, I have been deep diving. Presently, I'm partnering with Ben, as Anton said, in researching Class 2 injection wells once a week and posting a report on the well. With the time I have left, I'd like to share some things I've learned this past year. So yes, 2,500 incidents are on file at ODNR since 2016. Why 2016? Because that's when Governor Kasich declared a state of emergency related to oil and gas incidents and signed Executive Order 2016-04K. This order would create a reporting system with a 24/7 hotline and new amended and new laws on reporting. So did you catch it? Kasich declared a state of emergency related to oil and gas incidents in 2016. That tells you something. All incidents include explosions and fires, seismic events, releases of brine, condensate, crude oil, methane, nitrogen oxide, and more. In this time frame, 2016 to present, and there are holes in the data, there have been 1,000 releases of brine, condensate, and crude oil, 585 releases of natural gas or nitrogen oxide, 106 fires, 86 explosions and fires, and much more. Causes include human error, natural events such as lightning striking a storage tank, corrosion, failing cement, and more. I even read one that a cow opened up a storage tank valve. Counties that have experienced the most, Guernsey, 98, Noble, 98 incidents, Stark, 92, Belmont, 90, Carroll, 88, Muskingum, 81, Washington, 81, Monroe, 79, Trumbull, 74, and Portage, 65. The two words I see over and over again in the ODNR inspection reports, pollution and contamination. Those are the words. The other thing I read over and over again is ODNR saying, please comply, please comply, please comply. I'm often asked, what is the worst incident I've seen? Historically, 1944, Cleveland, a tank exploded, fireballs were seen 7 miles away, vapors got into the sewers, and the incident destroyed hundreds of homes and 133 lives. Then there's the Belmont County 2018 well pad explosion we all know about that created the largest methane leak in history. Or Stark County 2017, remember this one? A pipeline failed and it released 2 million gallons of fluid into a wetlands. Oh, and then there's Bay Bridge up near Cleveland. In 2007, cement failed around a well. Methane migrated, caused a house to explode, and contaminated a public water supply and 22 domestic. They always say, never been contaminated water, never. Well, okay. And most recently, of course, near Salt Fork, another explosion, and it was 18 hours, and people were evacuated. There's just so much contamination mapped out in these spreadsheets. And honestly, it goes beyond that. Sometimes disturbing things are just happening on a daily basis on a well. Case in point is the most recent report on a Trumbull County Class 2 well that I did. People have been complaining for years about the chemical odors. ODNR documents show a pattern of overflowing tanks, illegal brine truck washing, and years of illegal storage of waste on the surface of this facility. And yet, the local fire department chief said, there's not much we can do. Brine just smells. And ODNR said, there's no leak at the well, that certain waste emit odors, and that the odors will subside when the waste is transferred to enclosed tanks. In conclusion, what I hope we can create someday soon, and I've been working on it here and there, is our very own PR document. This could be a document we all use, but we're sharing the same facts in the same language. We need our own collective war room. This document could include the main talking points of the industry, and then our rebuttal, the facts, the truth. For instance, when we tell a reporter drilling creates large amounts of radioactive waste, and Rob Brundrett says, but it's naturally occurring, we say, what? Maybe the document comes out monthly with information we can all memorize, right? And present. How much brine waste was created that much? How much has come from other states? Where exactly are these facilities that are down blending this stuff? With this document, we can speak in one voice and continue chipping away at their lies. We just keep kicking until the industry doubles over like that father and can't catch his breath. And the tipping point is here. The industry charade crumbles, and the votes are cast to forever ban this radioactive waste from our roads, to implement continuous monitoring near every Ohio well, to plug the 19,000 orphan wells, and to create more protective laws, to demand ODNR stop pleading with companies to comply. And they just shut them the hell down for good when they break the rules. And most importantly, Ohioans vote in one voice that they are tired of dying of cancer and other things, and that they want safer and cleaner energy now. Thank you.